You are the proper historian.
United,
you know where the records are.
United, how many years are you now?
10.
10.
Yes.
You're also coming.
We shall see. Anyway, bro, Charlie, good morning.
Good morning, Francis.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's quickly find out what's happening in the courts. Before we talk about what's coming, let's talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday with the CocoaBoard case, what happened?
Yes, so businessman Saidu Agongo, the second accused person, and his company, Agricult Ghana Limited, are calling witnesses now. So yesterday, the sixth defense witness was in the witness box to continue with her testimony in chief and before Justice Abuaji Tando. So that case is ongoing. The prosecution, I must say, has closed their case. They called 7 witnesses. Dr. Stephen Kobnopuni, the first accused person, has also closed his case. He's called 10 witnesses and all that. And now lawyers, or the third and second and third, that is businessman Saidu Agongo and Agricult Ghana Limited, are also calling their witnesses. So yesterday, the sixth was in the witness box to continue with his evidence in chief. And the testimony is simple. You notice that the issue with liquid fertilizer, prosecution is of the view there are all claims that that particular fertilizer was not fit, was not potent enough, and so they even liken it to the point that where farmers go to the farm and they could even drink it as water. All these assertions were rejected or denied by prosecution witnesses who have come both for Dr. Stephen Kobnopuni, and then some of their officers, investigators have all come. So the testimony is to disprove prosecution's claim. So that witness is still in the witness box, and today he's expected to come back to court today to continue before Justice Abuaji Tando.
All right. That's on the CocoaBoard
Absolutely.
matter. All right. What about the Beige Bank case? The lineup of 61. Where are we now?
The 61 is still on.
Hey, wait. Before you talk about Beige,
Yes.
since you mentioned bank, is the car still at the court premises? The white Honda Civic.
So you're talking about
I've asked you whether the car is
you're
there.
talking about
People who know. You cry, why?
Deborah Sarah Madabla,
Okay. Who is she again?
otherwise known as Side Chick. That's what you. That's the name, yeah.
Okay.
That is the only case that I know of a Honda Civic.
Really?
White Honda
I
Civic.
see.
That's the only case.
Is
that
it still at the court premises?
Yes, on the 8th of July, that case will come up.
Next week.
Next
Next week, Monday.
Yes, on the
Okay.
8th of July.
All right.
Yes,
So now
I'll
back
give
to
you
Beige matter. I just want to be sure that that case is still ongoing. That's
yeah,
fine.
it is still ongoing. So
All
on the 8th, we'll get an update on that.
Sure.
So, Mr. Nyineku, the founder of the defunct Beige Bank, is still calling witnesses. And yesterday, the 15th witness was discharged. He had started his evidence in chief. Yesterday, he concluded that, and then state prosecutor led by Mrs. Evelyn Kilson, the chief state attorney, subjected him to cross-examination. His cross-examination didn't last for long, about 30 minutes. They were done. And the focus of his testimony was to the effect that, look, certain branding issues that were done, or certain things that were done in the bank, in which monies were released, he has been able to tell the court that circumstances leading to how those things were done and signposts how they managed to replace formerly Beige Capital Savings and Loan to Beige Bank and all that. So that is in effect to say that monies that were transferred along, which had been claimed that Mr. Nyineku stole those monies or took those monies for his personal benefit, are not the situation as has been claimed. So the case has been adjourned to Monday. Today is Tuesday, right? Wednesday, that is tomorrow. But Justice Efia Saribotwe gave a warning yesterday. What she said was that if you look at the 15 witnesses who have come to court to testify, some of them have made repetitions of some of the things that have been said earlier. So the court is warning that the remaining witnesses that are expected to be called, the prosecution or the defense should ensure that none of them will come and repeat what the 15 witnesses have ever said. If they do that, the court will be forced to discharge that particular witness, and that evidence would be taken down. So what the court is saying is that make sure that the rest of the witnesses who are coming will come and tell the court something different, But the point that the accused person, I must say, and his lawyers are arriving at is that if you look at the kind of charges that have been put before the court, one, they say that customers' money has been taken from the account with their knowledge. Two, certain funds were moved around and it went into the pockets of the accused person. They want the officers who perform rules directly or who directly were involved in those moments to come to court and explain. So that is why they are calling witnesses to come and justify. So it is not as if they want a repeating. It's just to make things clearer to the court to understand what happened in the industry or industry practice and what do go into, which led to circumstances of situations like that coming. So clearly, and also the court has also given a warrant, has accepted a request to have some of the witnesses testify via video. But that's subject to the acceptance of the Chief Justice. So they are waiting for that to happen. So some of the witnesses who are out of the jurisdiction, who are willing to testify via video link, will be allowed to testify. But yesterday, the 15th defense witness for Mr. Nyenegu, 15 out of 61 was discharged yesterday.
Okay, so now in the next sitting we'll have number 16.
Number 16
appear. Wow, 61.
Yes, 61.
It's a long list.
They have not backed down from the 61. They're still holding on to 61. And yesterday, the indication is that those that will be on record is hovering around 29. Yes, 29 so far. So they'll file the rest as and when they are able to take their witness statement and all that.
The JB Killers case, what's become of it now?
So it comes back to the absence of the jurors. You know, it's a jury trial and the jurors are on leave. They are on strike, I must say. They have declared an indefinite strike until such time that the allowances are paid them. On the 16th of May was the day that they declared strike. So 16th of May, today is 2nd July. So that's about 6 weeks. Nothing is happening in relation to all indictable cases. And when I say indictable cases, I mean cases that the gravity of or the severity of their punishment are very heavy. Murder, treason, felony, and all that. Attempted murder, all these cases are being affected. So the jurors are absent. So that has affected JB Killer's case. He was expected in court to continue with his evidence in chief. We noticed that he has been defending himself, he has been opening his defense, and he has been giving account to circumstances leading to why he has been charged, why he is pleading not guilty to the charge of murder and robbery. But unfortunately, before Justice Lydia Osema for yesterday, that case was adjourned. The lawyers, defense lawyers, Yao Dankwa and the team were present. The state prosecution, Attorney General's department, represented by Mrs. Sefako Bache, principal state attorney, was present, but conspicuously missing were the jurors. They were absent yesterday, which forced Justice Lydia Osemafo. Hopefully, she adjourned the case to tomorrow, hoping that maybe by today something will change, that they will be back tomorrow. Because that case is almost getting to a place where the court will be done with it, and this whole matter has come. So it's a worry to the judiciary and the proceedings or cases before the court.
The Abesim murder case.
Richard Appiah, 28, a footballer and a draughtsman. He was alleged to have killed 2 teenagers, cut the body parts, and stored them in the refrigerator in Abesim. He has pleaded not guilty. In fact, it is a jury trial. And the same thing happened yesterday when the case was called before Justice Ruby Aite. It has to be adjourned. The state prosecutors led by Nana Ahmad Dinkra, senior state attorney, was present. A lawyer for the accused person, Fastinos, was also present. The court, the judge was also present. But unfortunately, the jurors again were absent. So yesterday, no show. That case has been adjourned to the 22nd of July, hoping that by that time, the jurors will be present for the court to. What was happening was that the court was picking date for the trial itself to start in the next legal year. So that is the situation at hand. The jurors were absent and there was no show in relation to the Abesim murder case.
Wow. Now the attempted murder case as well. Which case are we referencing here? A bit of context and then what happened?
Yeah, so this is a case that a 22-year-old private security man is facing a charge of attempted murder, robbery, and some other charges. And he is alleged to have gone to his former boss's home to attack him and the wife and almost killed him after they made a point that he's been stealing small from the home. So they made that complaint to the company that brought him, and then he was effectively sacked from the home. So disappointed or dissatisfied with that, he went back to reply of a sort, and unfortunately he was arrested. So he's been charged with attempted murder, which is also a jury trial, robbery, and then some other misdemeanor or some other offenses. He has pleaded not guilty, and it's also a jury trial. Notice that he's the same person who is facing trial of having escaped from the Manette police cells. If you remember, there was a gentleman who was arrested. The court had has ordered that he be taken from the Manette police station to the Nsawan prison for remand. And the night before he could be taken there, he jumped bail, or he jumped cell, or he escaped cell, and then he was arrested after a month or so. That is the case that we are talking about, Pius Ayuma. So yesterday he was in court, and because of the absence of the jurors, no show again in relation to that. So all these cases that the jurors are needed in are suffering big time.
So out of 5 that we have looked at, 3 of them are ones that require a jury to be present to work.
Sexy Don JB Dankwa it's a jury trial. The ABC murder case is a jury trial. Then the attempted murder case also a jury trial. So once the case is called adjournment, they just have to adjourn. So nothing can happen.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now to what's coming today.
Yes.
The treason felony case. Remind us what case this is and what to expect in court today.
So this is a case involving Oliver Barker-Vormawor. Remember that sometime in 2022, February to be precise, he was arrested when he was on his way back from abroad at the airport and became an issue in Ghana here a whole lot of. And the place that many will remember is Ashaiman and then Tema Enclaves, where he was arraigned at the Ashaiman District Court for many times before the committals was done, and then the case transferred to Accra for him to come and face a trial. In fact, 2 counts of treason felony, but that case had been moving around for a while. The lawyers went to the Supreme Court saying that if you look at the charge sheet, it's defective because if you look at the count, the offense that was prescribed, the statement of the particulars of offense is as it were alleging 2 different crimes, and that offense, the procedure or the process at which the law works. Because if you are charging an accused person, let's say treason felony, and for them they made the point that if you look at the particulars of offense, you are making the point that yes, you are charging for treason felony, but it contains elements of high treason. So in that case, the law doesn't allow that. Let the accused person know the exact charge that he is facing. And that went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court agreed with him, asked the prosecution to amend the charge sheet, which they were of the view that if that is what the Supreme Court is saying, then the whole bill of indictment have to be cancelled, and they have to go back to the Ashaiman District Court for the committal to start again. But the High Court, presided over by Justice Mary Enzu, disagreed with them and asked the prosecution to correct that. They have done that. In fact, when his plea was being taken in relation to the accounts, he refused to plead to them. He said that I cannot plead to a charge sheet that, in my view, it is defective. But the court is enjoined to enter a not guilty for him. The jurors, and this is a case that is also going to be a jury trial. So your guess is as good as mine. Once the jurors are absent, this case is surely to suffer. But it will be before Justice Mary Enzu today. And Oliver Barker and his lawyers, led by Dr. Justice Shamsai, will also be in court. State prosecutors being led by Hilda Craig as principal state attorney. They are all expected to be in court today, and then we'll know what will happen, or the directive or the orders of the court in relation to this one.
All right. Then there's the much talked about, much followed, high public interest case of the ambulance matter. Ato Fosu, Richard Japa, and the Attorney General Godfrey Yeboadabe.
A case of high drama, a case of a lot of interest. Yeah, so that case is back in court today before Justice Ifya Sewa Saribochi, a justice of the Court of Appeal, who is presiding over this case as an additional High Court judge. But she started this case before she was even elevated to the Court of Appeal. But of course, now she is a Court of Appeal judge, so it's said that she is presiding with additional responsibility as a High Court judge. And today, Francis, we expect the Attorney General to conclude his cross-examination with Mr. Japa. If what we were told at the last court sitting is anything to go by, then today Mr. Japa is likely to be discharged. And when it's discharged, it means that all allegations, all things that we have heard, the showdown, the encounter, the allegations that he has made in relation to all the audios, conversation he had with the Attorney General, all of them will be coming to an end today. And what I can say per what happened at the last court sitting is that the AG's department seem to have concluded the issue on the allegations made against the Attorney General when the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah concluded that cross-examination and handed over the mantle to the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Damin to continue with Mr. Japa. The focus of the Attorney General's cross-examination was mainly on the contract and what is surrounded what surrounds the issue before the court, and nothing in relation to the allegation made against him by Mr. Japa was commented on by the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Damin. So today, the expectation is that the Attorney General will go on and probe further in relation to why they are charging Mr. Richard Japa and Dr. Kasela Tuforsin before the court. And once that is done, the court will make further orders. But the indication is that the Attorney General office led by Godfred Yeboah-Damin and his team are expected to conclude their cross-examination of Mr. Richard Japa today. And when that is done, Mr. Japa will be discharged. But one thing happened at the last court sitting. After the conclusion of the case, the parties had an in-camera section with the judge. What transpired was not public, or we do not know. So we don't know the effect that it will have on today's sitting. But as and when something happened, we'll be live in court, and whatever update that will happen, as we usually do, we'll be giving you quotes from the proceeding, who said what and what responses will be coming out. All of them will be updating you.
Okay. There's this other case that's had a domino effect on happenings in Parliament, the LGBTQ plus bill and the court matter.
Yes.
Where are we on that one?
So you're talking about the Richard Sky,
Yes.
Dr. Amanda.
I know there are about 2 or 3 cases that were
so
all related to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are 4 cases in relation to this anti-gay bill matter.
Yeah.
2 of them are at the High Court, and then 2 at the Supreme Court. So the High Court one filed by a farmer, the court will sit on it. The parties were given up to the 4th of July to file their submissions, and they will be back in court on 29th of July for the court to fix a date for judgment. But to, in relation to what has led Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo not to accept, or Parliament not to transmit the bills in relation to the one filed by broadcaster Richard Sky and Dr. Amanda Odo, a researcher with the University of Cape Coast. And Francis, tomorrow, that case is before the Supreme Court. So those 2 cases will be heard tomorrow by the Supreme Court. And it's one of the cases, or those 2 cases, cameras will be allowed in, and so we'll bring you live coverage. No, I will not come and sit here and tell you what has happened in court. In the comfort of your house, just switch on to GH1 TV and listen to Star FM, and you listen and hear or watch whatever transpire in open court in relation to that particular
for
case.
yourself.
Absolutely. So tomorrow, the anti-gay bill issues that are pending at the Supreme Court, it is expected that it will be heard. Richard Sky and Dr. Amanda Odo and their lawyers are expected to face the Supreme Court panel tomorrow.
Right. His name is Murtala Inusa. As I said, the up-and-coming motivational speaker. Today's message is that the only place where you find success before work or hard work is in the dictionary. Really? Even that one, right? It's debatable. Okay, success and work. Yes, work will definitely be, but hard work will definitely come before success in the dictionary. Work. Okay, all right, fair. Hey. Motivate.
We are following your footsteps.
Motivate.
We listen to you a lot.
My brother.
We learn from you.
Mutalicious.
We learn from the best.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Have a great day, Francis.
Have a good one.